Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Chat. My name is Bryan Kearney, and I could not be happier today than to be chatting to the absolute legend that is Mauro Picotto. Mauro, how are you?
I'm very good. Hi to everyone. Beautiful day.
Yeah, it's nice here as well, Mauro. You can feel the better weather coming after we've gone through the past few months have been really difficult, and I think you're living in Jersey. Is that correct?
Yeah, I live in Jersey. At the moment, actually, I'm stuck in London because I was here, and then when they did the lockdown, I couldn't move back because otherwise I will have to do the quarantine. And then I moved back for, after Christmas and all. But then when I back to Italy for a few days, then I managed to come back to England. Then I have to be quarantined here. If I go back to Jersey to quarantine there, I will go back now because the situation is getting better and all with vaccine and whatever. But as you know, my house has always been everywhere.
Yeah. And as you know, with the scene that we're in the dance scene, we've had a very difficult 12 months. And how have you found it? Have you found it very difficult to deal with the last 12 months, not being able to tour and that?
I have to be very honest, because my career didn't start just a few years ago. I've been in a lucky position.
Yeah.
In a way that for me to stop for a few years was like, okay, I will enjoy the family. I dedicate more time to production, obviously because all the clubs are closed and I understand the situation. I dedicate, or better, I'm back with the mood to making pop music, dance track, but they can have also radio play, because to make music for club when you cannot enjoy it, to go and play it, it's like I feel stuck.
Yeah.
That's my mood. That's why I try to back with the idea to something that I won't like to dance, but also to listen. And that's why I actually had no, I'm going to say good time, because it wasn't a good time to stay home or stuck in the house. But I try to convert what was not a good thing in a good thing. That's my point of view. Then obviously I'm looking forward to clubs reopening and festivals, because I can't wait to feel the crowd and playing, because it's not the same without the crowd. When I see the streaming I understand the passion of the music, but it's not the same. The energy in the house in front of your camera is, at least when you have someone to speak, it's still different.
Yeah.
But just yourself I know that people listen you around the world, but you listen with a phone or with a headphone or even with a good sound in the house, but it's not the same. So for me, it's, no, I rather I didn't do nothing, to be honest with you. I did maybe one or two just because it was a bit like the moment to do it, but then I realized, no, it's not for me, But I like to make production. That's, yes, for sure. I have so many bombs ready for the summer.
And so you're really excited to play all this new music that you've made as we eventually get back into the clubs and the festivals and stuff.
Definitely, 100%. That's why I'm I also try to convert with this music that initially was a start for the radio, or better, not the radio, but to listen, because now the radio is important, but everybody Spotify or YouTube or stream. There's so many options. But then I say, how I can manage to play this kind of music in a club that is not actually my style. And that's when is the challenge, and you try to find the road or something that make possible, because all this paranoia of the genre for me disappeared in the last 6-7 years, because my transition from dance music, I started with the Afro music when I was a kid. Then I went to the Italian, I would call it a commercial, like really simple music. Then arrived the beginning of house music and was very exciting. Then techno, trance, the new beat was also before in the middle. There's always been so many genres. And when you move from one to another, you're always going to get a lot of shit, because the fans say, why are you changing? Why are you not? But it's my character. I cannot stay and do always the same things. I would get bored, That's why I'm always trying to find a different way to enjoy myself and to play the music that I like for the crowd that want to listen to that. And sometimes it's also a barrier that, because they want to hear always, obviously Mauro Picotto, they want to hear Comodo. come on, after 25 years now,
Yeah.
you should have enough of this drug. You know,
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
And that's why. But then I realized with the time that actually it's like to go a concert of, I don't know, Robbie Williams, and he wouldn't sing Angel. People wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
And that's I realized maybe I need always to give that moment of happy moment for the happy ending for the crowd, you know, but still dedicating with one side of myself to the club, to where I start as a DJ, you know, that for me very important. That's why I always had I would say the good side and the dark side, you know, but it was also moment of my life, you know, the clubbing scene. When you're young, you're crazy, you're doing anything you have to do, and you know you end up at my time, at my age, and it's like, wait a minute, I can't continue to this kind of life and that level on that rhythm, you know. And then you're moving on the side, and the side is actually good as well. That's the point.
Yeah, so obviously you've been a huge musical inspiration to myself and a lot of people of my age. And who would have been the people that inspired you when you were growing up musically?
But musically, you have to, as I say, I start to listen Afro music when there was the beginning of the era of the DJ mixing, because before the DJ was just playing track. Then start the mixing together. And in Italy, we had a famous club like Cosmic, and was like La Baia Imperiale in Rimini, and they was playing this kind of music. And in the middle of the Afro tribal music was the first influence coming from Tangerine Dream, Kraftwerk, and so many, Alan Parsons Project, track that they was playing maybe, 45, but you play at 33, they changed the beat. It was so creative. And then the mixing. The people will start to mixing the track together, and the rhythm was creating different mood. And that for me was like, wow, because actually I always want to make music, but I can't sing. Obviously, it's not my place. And the DJ gave me the opportunity to express myself with my style, my mood, And that's when I started to go near the DJ world and understand what was my mood. And as I say, electronic, because it was so many at the time that start to play electronic music. Imagine, as I say, Kraftwerk was the first that really like, wow, Tangerine Dream, this melody of floating was like, and for me was another level. Yeah. But then there's so many, because now I sometimes I go and check my old records, really old, and then I found DJ from that time that they have passed everything on MP3, and I have so great memory, and I realized that all what I've done, there was something from here, from there, and was that moment of my life. That's why. And then obviously the DJ of the time, because, I remember Italian DJ like Daniele Baldelli was one of the third top DJ of that kind of music. Even with the techno, for me, Sven Fett has always been an inspiration, because he doesn't play for just because the track is out. He has, I'm sure he has also a great team around to select, to find music that has a lot of character, not just track to play for please the crowd. He go and found the same thing with a track that nobody had. For me, that was really good of him. But then there's been so many, Laurent Garnier, and there's so many DJ that have done great stuff. But even in the trance music, because if you're thinking all the DJ at the time, then obviously some of them went too far. But even Armin or the Saint Tiesto, when the trance was huge, they've done an amazing job for the movement. Everyone, even you, for your career, you've done amazing. Everybody has to find the right dimension, from my point of view. Then obviously, if you don't like, someone stay, how you say, fedele in English, I don't know the word, but someone stay faithful.
Faithful, yeah.
Constantly, and they don't change nothing. And obviously, people love that, are happy forever. Me, because I change constantly, people doesn't love me so much for that, because they never know where to go. After so many years, now I realize that the people, actually, they say, you never know what you get from Mauro, but actually is always fun. If I'm in a good mood and they are in a good mood, we always have a great night. That's the point.
Yeah, that's one of the inspiring things why you've always been my favorite DJ and my favorite artist. You always wanted to be yourself, and you never stuck to one sound. You could be playing a trance record, and then a minute later you could be playing the most underground techno record, and no matter what you played, the crowd loved it. And it was the first time that I've ever seen a DJ on stage with that much presence, and just you always wanted to move forward with your sound. You never wanted to stick with the one sound, and you always tried to keep moving forward. And I think that's really important, that you have such an open mind when it comes to music.
Yes, but this you describe perfectly what is my mood. I can't stand, even when the festival are brilliant because every 1 hour, even if I love the long set, but the long set has to be done by real DJ. Because some DJ after 2 hours is boring as hell.
Yeah.
Sorry if I say that, but someone has like that. That's why festival put the DJ every 1 hour. But I remember at my good times, this DJ set was nowhere minimum 3-4 hours. And they DJ professional that was creating a journey. They was, as you say before, you start with one genre, end up in another world. And the same was a trip around the world because of the mood of the music. You can sound like an African style and you're feeling to be in Zanzibar or somewhere there. And then at some point you are in South America because, like Luciano's Mood or Villalobos. And then arrived the techno-European with German DJs. It's always been, for me, like, a trip around the world, the music, not just one style. That's for me was like, I feel like a horse with cannot run free.
Yeah.
That's for me is the most important of a DJ career.
And what would you consider to be your first big break into DJing and producing?
What do you mean?
Like what was this? What do you think was the beginning of you becoming Mauro Picotto?
That was when I've always been fascinated, as I say, about the music, and when I become I would say one of the top DJ, because it was the time of when you're doing scratch. I don't know. For me it was 1989, and I win the DMC. There was like the DJ championship, the scratching and all the stuff like this. And I arrived in Italy, I arrived second, and I remember was very happy and all. But 1 year later, I won the World Cup competition on TV and was about to scratch. And that made me, I would say, feel like, I done what I want now, because I met Daniele Davoli during that competition.
Black Box, yeah.
Black Box, exactly. And he was there to presenting right on time. And I was like, wow, what a track he made this. And then, I buy the first sampler, was my Roland S330, that you have to do the editing with only 6-second sampler, stuff that was like, you need a monitor outside using the notator logic as a sequencer, and start to producing in my little room at home, and then putting the music together, bringing to the first record company. And I remember first time I arrived, they took him was Lombardone Disco Magic in Italy, but wasn't a great track, was, my starting. And then I had an idea to start to using sample live in the club. And then I realized when something was working, when I was finding the right loop, because I was using the sampler live with the DJ in the club, in any club.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to make a track with this loop. And then from that loop, I was going to make another piece together. And from 1 minute, I was doing 1 minute and a half. And I created a track was like, We're Gonna Get.
Yeah.
My first track, it was top 20 in UK. And that when I went to Media Records, and the owner even didn't listen, to be honest, the track. He just wanted me because I won the year before the competition of the DJ. But then I went in the studio with the guy that they was already a team working in this company, because they have different team in different studio. And we create this track finish it properly, because mine was still made it with one sampler and, the Revox at the time.
Yeah.
And then we realized the first track. Then I made another track, was We Got to Live Together. This is then when they offered me to come and work full time for them. And for me to have a studio, because at the time I didn't have the money to buy a studio. And the studio at the time was costing like in lira, in euro now would be like, you need to have at least 70, 80,000 euro to build your own studio, a little one at the time. And then I start to work there. I start to make my own money because I was quite good. They offered me a share of the company. And, instead of pay me the royalty, they was the company. Then I was keep going. I realized why they didn't want to use the name of the DJ, but of the artist, because when you're young, you're just excited to producing. You don't have a clue how much business was behind, because it's not now. At the time, there was a business behind the music, a good business.
Yeah.
Anyway, to make the longer story short, when I became a partner in the company, I started to say, okay, I'm gonna producing my name as a DJ, because as a DJ, you need to reflect what was my mood in the club. I started to make music that even the other partner, the boss of the company, was like telling me where I fucking want to go with this music. Yeah. That was the big star music.
Yeah.
Imagine how crazy it was, no? To saying that to me. I mean, yeah, okay. If it's not a problem, I put my name. Oh, yeah. After 1-2 years of that sound, it was going in the top 20 in UK. And after 20 years, they still music that the people want to listen now.
Yeah.
And if you think in the music of 20 30 years ago, it's disappeared. If it's not something is unbelievable. And then for me, that was like, wow, this was the right decision to do that. Then when in 2001 or 2, I sold my share of the company and I started to run my life as a DJ with Alchemy and my Riccardo Ferri, remember my partner in crime as well.
Genius.
Yeah, genius. He's amazing in the studio. He's someone that he's always been updated, because that's what I hate of the studio for me, because I realized to making music is not about just knowing the machine. You need to have the idea also. But if you don't keep yourself updated with the machine, you're out of the business. Because I remember we buy the studio. I bought my first studio with him, the professional one in my house. After 6 months, when I was coming back, everything was changed again. New update, new plugin. I didn't know even to turn on the computer. But I still making music. Explain me how.
Yeah.
That's, because when you know where you have to go, I can go in any studio now with anybody, because, there's a executive producer, there's a musician, there's a record producer. There's so many step or box you have to fill it when you make a track, because of course, if you're making dance music in a club style, you just need the idea. You can do it with the laptop. But when you want to produce in top quality, you need to work a bit more. It's not just about turning on the laptop, because you see with the pandemic now, all these producers that they was making so many tracks, they're still making so many tracks. They do nothing. Even if you're number one, I'm not saying Beatport because I don't follow the music at the moment to know what's going on, but even in the techno, that's not techno. That's, the influence is so commercial that they trying to making techno commercial. I know what the feeling, because when I was doing Big One and Komodo the music, that wasn't pure techno. That was just influenced by techno, but was a way to create energy music with ingredients that make you listen again, even when you are not in a club. Like I would say quite smart music to make also money, because at the time there was a business around that. Now they do the same. There's no business. They just want some airplay, because otherwise they are this DJ, they are disappear. completely, because there's no gig. They cannot using the logo of the party where they play. They cannot go out with branded label because there's no festival. And all these names, they are like suffering, and they try to produce in commercial music, but commercial music is not easy to make. They think, just make something stupid and it's gone. No, it doesn't work like that.
No.
I actually feel that it's difficult as much to create a good underground track, the same level. Just to make track, it's easy, but to make track successful is still another level for me.
Yeah, you make an excellent point there. It's very difficult to make simple music. It's not easy at all, and that I think that was one of the. I consider BXR to be my favorite record label of all time. If you listen back to some of the music, it's timeless. It hasn't aged. If you made those tracks now, they would still sound brand new. And
I agree.
Yet they still sound fresh. And now that I have more of an idea about production, I can sort of hear how they're made and how, as you said, it was about a business. So the production of those tracks was very mechanical, where you found a way of making these tracks. And then it was just a case of changing the melody. Like, say, you make Lizard, then Iguana, Komodo. I made 6 tracks,
like this, like that. Iguana, Komodo, Proximus, and now Lizard.
and they're all they're similar.
Believe me, I was just pulling up the mixer. The sound, it was the same. We just changed the melody, few sample, but that was the trick, changing maybe the sound of the riff. But when you found your style, it's easy to make track then.
Yeah, because all the tracks are usually just white keys. All the notes are played on the white keys. All the similar sounds, similar drum loops. You change the identifying part. You'll have the vocal that makes it stand out. So when people hear the track, they're going to say, there's that track that says "Gonna Get You," or the sample that you use from Kiss in Iguana, and then Komodo has the other part. So it was really.
You say right about the Kiss. You know that I was accused by Enjoy because they're using the same sample, Enjoy.
Yeah.
And they asked me 40% of Iguana at the time.
Really? Yeah, I never knew that, Mauro. No.
And I was like, what the, why?
Yeah.
And that was the sample was taken from Kiss. Why they asked me? They thinking that I took it from them. That was crazy. But that was just a gossip.
Yeah. The other amazing thing about BXR, Mauro, was you'd have the commercial mix, but alongside the commercial tracks that you released, you would have 5 or 6 remixes, underground remixes of Komodo, Iguana, say Megamind T, all that type of one, and that they'd all be completely different. And that's why I loved BXR so much. It catered to everyone. And what was that production process like? Was it easy to make the more underground remixes? You found it very mechanical making the commercial ones. Was it more difficult to make the more underground remixes of those tracks at that time?
At that time, I would say it wasn't difficult because I had like 2 amazing partners with me. One was Ricardo, that is super talented for the underground music. He loves underground. He's someone that if you ask to make a song, he feels sick before the start. Really, is not his place. He found always like he want to only producing music for the mind, for the dance, for the body. No, he doesn't care about the radio if he's playing or not. That's why. And that for me was important because he has that kind of heart. In the other studio, I had another guy that was an amazing musician, and me, I was just, like the balance between knowing where to go with one, knowing where to go with the other. And then also, I always gave freedom to express yourself because that's important, but it's not a case that if you think in Media Records, after 20 years that I left already, tell me one track they made that is successful.
None.
And if you ask them, they would say, oh, Mauro is gone, what is done? I still have done so many, especially in the club, because, when we left New Time, New Place was everywhere.
Yeah, incredible record, yeah.
And we still now, in the last 3 releases I done in Italy, every 3 are like being top 10 in Italy on the radio. That was my target. Now my expression is like to find again the way to make the music that can go in the club, but also on the radio. Because I think people feel and want that again, because they can go dancing, but the radio cannot maybe offer that. I don't, it's a bit, even if there's a lot of commercial music on radio, but then you cannot actually play in the club because it's too commercial.
Yeah.
Again, it's what you were saying, to make it something commercial is not easy.
Not easy. It's very difficult.
No, because
very difficult.
It becomes like, for me, it's always like food. If you go with a good DJ, you're going to have a nice dinner in a restaurant. Otherwise, you can go to a commercial party and it's going to be like to go to McDonald's.
Yeah,
Everybody loves McDonald's.
It's just about the same McDonald's. Yeah,
but McDonald's, you take the radio playlist, you're playing in the club, the McDonald's, everybody's happy. But you're going in a good club with good sound system, a good DJ need to give you a nice dinner. Now, commercial music played in a cool club or in a nice restaurant, it's like to giving, a nice decorated plate to eat, and then I put you cream on top, just to keep it sweet. That's horrible, That's why it's difficult to find the right balance, like when I did with Komodo in the trance music, because it was quite not trance for the fact that before was hard, was the more techno influence. But then the opening was make the people floating, flying, because was relaxing, was trance, put in trance mood. That's why, for me, we found the right connection. And it was music that also worked a bit on the radio, but wasn't so successful on radio, exactly because was for the radio at the time was too hard. Something that is not now, but at the time, I remember even, Radio 1, they played because it was like top 40 in the cell, but it never been on a rotation like even B, was maybe C, or even just play a few times because it was on chart. But it never had a support as other commercial house music at the time. Now this is more open, but it's more difficult to make the track that can work in both sides. Because even in the house music, I remember in Ibiza, how many tracks like Stardust, Roger Sanchez, all music that start in the house after our party in Ibiza, and then they was coming big in UK.
Yeah.
And in UK, in the world, to be honest, not in UK. But and now it's missing because you at the time was like at least 5 to 10 hits every summer. Now you struggle to find 1, 2. I meaning that born in the underground club and become commercial. There's like completely separate. Also because maybe with the club we went too far away. Because, be honest, I grew up in the club. Was just in the last 10 years was just about drugs. And if you ask the people in the club, coming out of on the Monday or Tuesday, whatever it was, the day in Ibiza, how was the music? Amazing. What they play? Boo, nobody knows.
Yeah, no idea. Yeah.
But it was good when you was there, It was different 15 years ago, you still remember. But it's not a case, as I say, if you go and listen still these days, and not now, because it's 2 years, everybody done nothing. But I remember to go and listen Sven, you go out even, and you still remember the track that he played, the moment that he can catch the mood of the crowd. He's a groove catcher, know how to do the job. Easy to go and play the hit track. Different, do the same thing with the track that nobody knows. That for me has always been the challenge. When in Italy, it was like a respect to the DJ. That is something that it become also in Europe a few years later. But in the 90s, when you play a track that was amazing, the crowd was all sitting on the floor. And then when it was starting, the kick was jumping.
Yeah.
And you don't need a speaker to say, put your hands up in the air or put your hands somewhere else.
Yeah.
It was natural. It was coming from the mood of the people, respecting the sound of the DJ was playing. Now you see nowadays, the last few years, the DJ stand on the DJ booth, put your hands in the air.
It's not about the music anymore.
It's all, I would say, manipulated by the effect and the speaker, not just the music.
Yeah.
And the music, you just need to have a great drop and everybody's happy, But it's missing a bit of the soul of what is the successful part of the DJ. Maybe this pandemic also is going to make a good selection. Because the strongest stay.
Yes, that's always the way. But I was just there. Like, would you say that you have a love of the melody, but you also have a love of the rhythm? So that's where you have a love of, like, it's musical, but it also has a driving edge to it as well. That's especially back then during the BXR days.
Groove catcher, I always say, you need to have the mood to catch the moment. I'm always searching for something that, even in a loop of just a little, make you thinking million things with just something very simple. But then obviously you need to express in something different, depend where you want to go. Like me, in these days, I'm working on stuff that is from the 80s, the Afro, that we managed to bring, because with the new technology now, you can bring in stuff that was 106 BPM to 125 and it still sounds good.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's be speed up, but people don't know it.
Yeah.
And from there, you're building completely new track. And sometimes you don't need that sample anymore. Was just because that make you go in the new way. It's so creative and fashionable to do it, for me especially. And, it's so exciting. Like, as I say, I made a new track that would be released I think Sony want to release in May, but I tried to delay because it's a pop track for me. But I made an Iguana mix that is completely the mood I want to play now in the club, because there's energy, there's a great, powerful, and there's melody like that I made this track like nearly 2 years ago, the melody. And I keep working because I keep trying to find the dress to wear for this track.
Yeah.
Finally, I managed to do it, and I just finished it a month ago. And now I'm looking forward to play, even if I already tested last summer, because in Italy, when the pandemic was a bit better, some club open and I managed to go and play. And I see that there was like people, when you play a track, even the owner of the club come and say, well, what's the track?
Yeah.
Something that can put the head up, compare the rest, because it's not the classic you play is singing. It's like really like 6 minutes of journey. And for me, it's good. Then I will send it to you. We can judge. But obviously, you have to think is a club that you can actually play in the club, but is everything right also to go on the radio? And for me, it was like, it's something a bit like the Big Star time, when I was doing Guana Komodo and all this track, but with the sound of today.
Yeah.
Especially with the machine of today, because, the dynamic of the sound now is stuck you on the dance floor with the power.
Yeah.
And then it's a pop track, really with loud voice that you're like, fuck, what's that?
Yeah. So one of your greatest moments, in my opinion, now is you were the first DJ to ever play live on Top of the Pops. But not only did you play live, you played Baguette, which is one of the most courageous things that anyone has probably ever done on TV. What are your memories of that occasion?
Yeah, I remember really well, because when they asked me, the Top of the Pops want you to go and do the live with Komodo, and they told me, you can go there, we play the track, and you can do some playing. I say, no, if you want me, I go and DJ. Otherwise, I'm not doing it. And they say, what are you going to do with your turntable? I say, you don't worry, I will create something. No, it's my wife is asking me something. I want to do something with the turntable, because, and the producer say, okay, let's see what's going on. If you want to risk your reputation. And actually, for me, it was a goal, because nobody ever done it.
Amazing.
Yeah, because someone even say was pre-recorded. You can pre-record the Baguette with Komodo, trying to scratch on the stage. It was all bouncing and moving. I took a big risk, obviously, but was only for 2 minutes. I said, I don't care, even if I make a mess, at least they know it's live, he's DJ. And obviously I start with Baguette, that was nothing to do with Komodo, because I want to show already where I was going. Yeah. I was already changing at the time.
Yeah.
And this when I was doing Gate Crusher and Ghost Kitchen, remember how big they were. And I remember because I was doing 6 hour set at Gate Crusher. They've always finished 8 hour. And the funny was like, half of the people hate, because obviously they booked me for doing 6 hours. That was amazing for the first 3, 4 times. But then in the last 2 or 3, because then remember, K Crash was shut down. And I started to make the set that was like 3 hours of trance and 3 hours of pure techno. And obviously, I convert half of the people to techno, and half of the people was hate me because I was not playing trance in the temple of the trance music. But then, if you speak with the same people now, they are like actually understand where you were going. But at the time, obviously, someone, as I say, is so faithful to the genre that they refuse to listen anything else. And that I think is for limited people or limited DJ, because some of them, even into techno, when I was like doing my part in Ibiza Mega Night with Chris Liebing and many other.
Ben Sims and Adam Beyer.
Yeah, Adam Beyer. They always playing pure techno. Now you listen Adam Beyer, respect whatever he wants, but drum code has nothing to do with the drum code when he born. Drum code in those days is like Big Star 20 years ago. No different for me. Melody, commercial, is, but it's business for them. They see a light of something to grow up, and I respect it because Drum Code is an amazing brand, even if I don't find it so innovative for that kind of view. Then I know they have that. As a DJ, Adam is not someone that will follow the label so much in a way that as other people, obviously. But I respect what he's done because he built the future of the label for himself. But more than that was all the festival that then they create with that. But, it's a different work again because, you need to have the people around that they have. And like, depend of what you want exactly, because then there's all this scandal that is happened, what was like 7 or 8 years ago when the people was buying the track themselves to make the label appear big. Yeah. And, I really struck on every kind of label. I did some Cocoon, I even did Drum Code. I done all the label with track. But I realized that they are just labels. If you want the record going, everybody has to. If you want to be pop, you can't do that. That's the point. Depend what you like, what you want. It's extremely difficult. And then obviously, as I say, there's been this scandal because you see top 10 on, I don't know, Beatport, for example. They are music that you don't listen in any radio, but they're number one there. And you don't listen anywhere. How they can be number one?
Don't know, man.
I don't know, and every time. But then when you release track on this label, you don't see any money for the first 600-700 euro because they have to use the money for promotion. That's the promotion you pay.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Going through Spain, through South America, whatever, and the track go top 100 guaranteed. And then depend if the track is good, sell a bit more, a bit less. But now, these days that we all know how much the music is selling, if you are not a bit on the radio, don't tell me, especially now, all this techno club music, what do you think you can sell? Now, you cannot even buy, I don't know, a pizza in the evening with the track that is top 10 in techno. Maybe, I don't know. But it's not my word,
Yeah. So would you still be friendly with any of the ex-BXR guys like Mauro Picotto or?
No, we still all, actually we are more in contact now with this pandemic because, sometimes you chat here, even like, with Gigi D'Agostino, we spoke a few months ago and the idea was like, say, let's do a project together. But the difficulty is that Gigi is very, I would say, he has his own word. He knows what he wants. He's a real artist, and it's not easy to. You cannot go there and say, "Let's try to make something like this way or that." He knows what he wants. You need to go with something. If you listen, his last few productions are all the same. Yeah, it doesn't change a lot, and that's why if it's happen, because we did in the past music together. But it's when I was making the track, he was passing the studio like, I like that. Okay, let's do it together. That was the mood. It's never happened the opposite, that he is doing something good and I'm going and ask him. It's not in my character. It's more like, if I do something that he likes, he will work with me. Otherwise, he won't. That's the point. But then Mario is the same. Everybody has his own world. But I think you can make this alliance together when you feeling the same emotion
connection,
or the same mood of the track. Because otherwise, will be only what the record company want these days. Music business. They try to pay you. You have a lot of followers. Let's say the other guy is a YouTuber. We put you together. You have like 100,000 followers. You have 50,000. If you make this track together, we'll make 2 million Spotify.
Yeah.
Where is the idea of to making music there?
Yeah, it's not about creating anymore. It's just about
it's a bit lost on the promotion. I had an offer just a few weeks ago. A guy made a track for a big record company, and actually he's made in track with his idea. He invested 15, 20 track, and one track with different DJs. One track, for example, one track I do it with you, one track I do it with Adam Bear, one track with, now I don't know the name, DJ or whatever it is, 20. And he sent me a track, but already made it. I say, well, sorry, but what do you want? No, you just need to put your name. We can release it together. I say, no, it doesn't work for me like that. And what Sony offered me that, in Italy, I'm not interested, I'm not doing that because, but he has a lot of people following. And, if after 35 years, I still making some music, maybe not great, but still enjoy myself, and I still DJ, I don't need anything else more, I'm 54. I'm actually old for the club scene, but I still enjoy to go and play for the people that want to listen what I'm doing. It's nothing to do with making more now. I had an amazing time. I've been such a lucky person and a lucky man because at my time to do what I've done for me was like extremely difficult and successful because a little town of Cavour in Italy, 5,000 people, and become international DJ has been like a dream for a footballer. The same. You start from your little town and you become to play in Premier League. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm not Ronaldo. I don't want to be Ronaldo because I don't have that ability, obviously. But I have done well. Maybe I'm a little Iniesta. I've been everywhere. I distribute some trance, some techno, some here, some there, without being the top on one genre only.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, it's like feeling high. That's why now I want to make commercial music, but more because I want to hear it on the radio what I'm doing, because I cannot reach the club, and actually I don't want to go too much in the club because I'm old. I feel stupid, when I'm in the club I want to enjoy myself, and when I see all these kids, and I need to party as well, I need to be part of them, and therefore me I can do it but not too much. I slow down a lot.
Yeah. But I want to go back to the crazy days, if that's okay with you. Obviously, I'm Irish, so my
now kids are growing up, they understand.
Yeah. So I'm obviously Irish. I grew up just outside Dublin. So my place that I used to go was the Temple Theatre. Now
I left 10 years on Temple Theatre. 10 years of my life are gone there.
Me too. I'm surprised I have any brain cells left from my time there, but I know how special the nights were. Anytime you played in the Temple Theatre, I started going there when I was 17, getting a fake ID to be able to go in to see you play. And I remember the first time that I saw you unfortunately you were caught in the snow, so you only got to play for like 30 minutes at the end of the night, but you came back 3 weeks later with Mauro Picotto for the Space second birthday. But you speak to anybody who was at those events where you played in the Temple Theatre, and everybody will tell you the same thing. There was just something so special and so magical that I've never had in any club ever since then. So I'd really love to hear what your memories of the Temple Theatre and your time from back then.
As they say, a part left my bit cell of my brain there. It's like the energy when you was entering this church, we enter. I remember the first time I passed from the crypt to arrive to the stage, but it's the energy, the crowd, the feeling. straight away when you go on the stage, you was feeling so power and energy. It's like you feeling like you was like I was like God, you know. And that's
you were, man. You were to a lot of us.
No, that was my church, really, no.
Yeah.
And you can really, I can play whatever I want do the journey where I want, and the people was understanding everything.
Yeah.
Like if they heard me a million times. That for me was like the special of Dublin, and the Irish people on that club was, I don't know if it's something they brainwashed the people when they was entering the club, and they was like open to any experience. And it was just for me to go to Pat in at the temple was always a pleasure, was not working. I never work in my life. I've been so lucky that I never work in my life. For me, the working, you know when was? When I left the house, got the airport, stay in the lounge, board, on the plane, and still flying business class or first class. That wasn't bad, but for me, that was the work. Yeah. Imagine how bad it was. Nothing. It was just great memory. And the excitement to play in place like this. Then I've done an amazing experience all around the world. But the Temple Theater, as I say, is like, I left, I would say, if you can cut me in 5 pieces, 1 piece is in Temple Theater.
And what are your memories of Pat O'Keefe, the owner?
He's been such an amazing guy with me. I remember even we did, I was playing at the, what was it? Crowbar or Limelight, I don't remember, in New York for New Year's Eve, and he came there one year, and then in the morning, you know, after New Year's Eve, was already on the 2nd, because obviously the party was so. He called me, and we had breakfast together on the 2nd, and you know, it was a big crazy breakfast, you know, with him, and I had that memory of him. But he's been with me always a nice person and a good friend. Like there's nothing bad to say. Everybody had this moment in life, but Pat was a good guy.
Yeah,
he's a good guy, I'm sure.
Yeah, he was a really great guy to me. Like I went to the temple as a weekly clubber every week for 2 years, but I was also DJing at the same time. And Pat was always really, really good to me. And he gave me the opportunity at the age of 19 to have my own night in the Crypt. So I have a lot of gratitude towards Pat for what he did for me. And as you can say, your view of Pat is exactly the same as mine. But
because when you find someone that gives you the opportunity to express yourself, because people these days, not of DJ, they want to all start from the Greenfield.
Yeah, top. Yeah.
They don't know how much you gain from DJing in the Crypt, as you done. The same for me when I was DJing in Italy before I become popular in Italy. I was playing in the small clubs. I was playing also in a big club, but I was playing from the beginning till the end. 5-6 hours of music, just myself. That's when I build my experience of DJ, interact with the crowd, understand the mood, become a mood catcher of the crowd. That's when you learn, not just to play the top 10 on Beatport or whatever on a festival. Everybody can do that. The festival just, I would say, is the celebration of the artist of the year. Because if you want to hear DJ play quality set, you need to go and listen to them in their own environment for 2-3 hours. Then you realize if a DJ is good. Because many DJ can play 1 hour and do a good set, and sometimes not. But when you put a new one, the people are a bit like they want to name they already know for festival. That's why they always complain it's not fair, we don't have a chance. But how many of them, of the new generation, have done, okay, they don't exist also the club anymore these days, but how many of them was opening till the end in the club, as you done at the Crypt? As you say, you have the opportunity to go and play for people from the beginning till the end to understand how is the evolving of a night, you know?
Yeah. So you played, obviously I saw you playing the Temple roughly from the year 2000 and till around, I think the final time you played there was December 21st, 2002. I have a crazy memory for remembering dates, so I remember the day. But
because it's been closed then also, the club.
Yeah.
When it's been shut down, because I passed. I remember it was 2 years ago because I play always around in Dublin. I always play after Christmas sometime.
Yeah, it's
And
still
I
there.
remember,
It's still there. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not moving because
No,
that
no.
is
Yeah.
a real temple. But it's like if it was an emotional passing it from because I remember the queuing around like
Insane.
two
Yeah.
was like 300-meter queuing, no, like
Yeah.
without exaggerating, to enter in that place, 300-meter queue was like for a club was something that was unreal. Even for me, that I've been everywhere around the world, to see the queue long like this, you can see it at the stadium, not for a club.
Yeah, it was crazy. But just shows you how special those nights were, Mauro.
Oh
And
yeah, but as I say, it was amazing, amazing. I've been lucky.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that there's not really any video evidence of that of those nights. I think I remember you used to have a camcorder with you during your set. I'm just wondering if do you have any of that footage?
No, even if was something like this, the camera was lost in the same night.
Okay. So it was like
No,
that, yeah.
It's actually I have memory, obviously, but you know how it's when you are at the time and having so much good time. Also because this is like a bit of a story. Like every time we was finished at the temple, the party was not finished then.
Yeah. It only began, yeah.
Going until the day after.
Yeah.
You know, I remember even we've been banned from many hotels in Dublin. I remember the first one I was surprised because when we finished at the temple, we go to the hotel. And we arrived at the hotel was like maybe 100 people outside waiting for me to arrive, like if I was a celebrity.
Yeah.
And I have to enter from a different place, you know, like was crazy. And then we had like 2 suites together because one was for Pat, one was for me, and one was like 100 people in the rooms. It was just like partying non-stop for 12 hour extra, you know. And obviously it was so good and so much fun that for me it's part of my growing up as a DJ as well. It's a bit like the story of Ibiza, but was made in Dublin, you know.
Yeah.
Because Ibiza is the same. How many times I've been there like for 1 gig and I stayed 3 days, you know.
Yeah.
It's never finished there.
So was that the first time that you really felt like you were a superstar and you were really like at the top of your game? Is that time was the feeling you got when you were in Dublin? Was that the first time you felt like I'm really doing something special?
I have to be honest. The first time that one, I felt scared because I was like, "What? Something is up," and but I never realized that the people was actually there for me, and I was like shocked. But because you know, first I finished playing, I was in a high mood. You had a few drinks, obviously, and the memory are not so fresh. You just forget it.
Yeah.
But if I analyze now what I've done in the place I've been, I even remember in Colombia that I was so big to arrive the first time in Bogota. Arrive at the airport, it was me because I was doing a concert with Miguel Rifazano and Ricardo Ferri live, you know? Big Saro, whatever.
Amazing.
We arrived at the airport, and the airport has all the glass. It was like hundreds of people outside with flower and stuff like this. And we was laughing. It's like, you know, taking the joke, like, who is all these people, you know? Who are they waiting for,
Yeah.
no? And then we wait in the back. My bike didn't arrive, and it took losing time. Anyway, make the story short, as soon as I go outside, before I go outside, Gabri Fasano come back and say, Mauro, you won't believe me. These people is outside there waiting for you. And I said, come on, you joking. When I went outside, they have the army from Colombia, military police, to score me to go away because I couldn't pass. So I was like, wow, like that's what I want to filming, you know. The same in Venezuela. I remember in Caracas, I've done before being the shooting, because remember also Carl Cox when he played a La Rinconada.
Yeah.
Not like that bad experience with four people there. The same place 2 years before with me, I couldn't play. Before I start DJ, they shoot a guy on the dance floor, stop the party, everybody up. We had kind of a bad experience too, not just the good side. But the good memory, for example, this one that I would say in Colombia, that is one of my favorite South American places, because partying like non-stop, and the amazing, beautiful girls and whatever, the experience of the jungle, you know, like the forest of Medellin.
Medellin is amazing. I was there.
Yeah, amazing. We went in the forest of Geronimo's called, you know, in the 7 a.m, parrots flying in the jungle, you know, because they have this big tree, obviously, Colombia, South America. And I remember the sound system, the last track, and think, what an amazing life I have lived. Look, the crowd, the forest, the parrots that was flying, the fog of the forest, you know, not the smoke, the fog.
Yeah.
Was just amazing, you know. And how lucky it was. Then arrived the police, want to stop the music, but then was a politician, and the politician spoke with the military. They say we could play another hour, you know, just stuff that is like felt so lucky and free, and freedom for everyone to have that moment to enjoy, because it's not the same now. You know, everyone restriction, especially now, but I know I went 10 years later in Colombia, was already just a problem, and you know, you have to stop the noise, someone disturbing, is start to be too much educated in a way that they are too well educated. But it's been so amazing. Like I play in the cave in Guaraína, was in Santo Domingo. I also, other DJ went after me for sure. But I remember when I went there, they said, where I play? In a cave. You know, entering this huge cave with all the stalagmite, stuff like that. And I was like, where are the security exit here? You are in a cave. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
There are like 2,000 people inside the cave dancing. So experience that I'm sure there's so many DJs around the world that have the experience even better than mine. But I've been so lucky, grateful of this lifestyle I had, thanks to the music, as thanks to the people that love my music, you know, being very lucky. And what can I say more than that? You know, it's fantastic. Everything is beautiful.
Yeah, in Dublin, the crowd chanted your name louder than the actual music.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Mauro, Mauro, Mauro.
And Pat was on the mic. Pat was on the mic getting the crowd going as well.
Yeah, I remember that, because also my name is not easy to pronounce, especially for the people at the beginning who call me, Mario.
Yeah.
Mauro. You know, Mauro Picotto. Yeah. Mauro. And I'm like, well, who's Mauro? But then it's, you know, it's been so, also because for me, I didn't speak any English at all at the time. It was also very difficult to communicate. And Irish has that special accent you have, you know, this.
Yeah, difficult to understand. Yes.
I had my manager also, you remember?
Jake.
Now Jay Pigeon, his brother as well, because they was teaching at the time. I remember Jay so well. And this accent, and same when I was playing in Scotland, all this Scottish accent that I love Scotland too. And you know, for me, I already don't know English. So my English is Italian English. To all this accent in the middle was like, I don't know, I just want to play, you know, party. People want that, that's it, you know. It was so good.
Yeah. I find it difficult to understand Scottish people at times as well, so I can only
imagine. For you, I understand it's difficult. Imagine for an Italian, it's Arab.
Really difficult. Yeah, but we were speaking about Gatecrasher earlier on.
Yeah.
And I travelled over to one of your 6-hour sets in 2002, I think it was. Francesco Farfa was warming up for you, and I always remember his warm-up was it was incredible, but it was 6 hours of the best music that I've ever heard, and this was when you were really evolving as Mauro Picotto. You were going from the trancier end to the crazy techno. It was just, I feel really grateful to be going to clubs at this time, because I was hearing music that I've never heard before, and I'll never hear anything as inspirational as it ever again. But what I loved was how you went into a trance club and you were you. You played what you wanted to play. You played crazy techno. It was what you loved, and it really did inspire me. But the thing I remember was you played for about 6 hours of the craziest music I've ever played. Then at about 6 o'clock in the morning, you played a chill out mix at Cafe Del Mar, and it just the whole atmosphere in the club was just it was magical. And then you played another 30 minutes of insane music, but That's really inspired me as a DJ and an artist to be yourself, and you created your own scene within a scene by being yourself. So what are your memories of your time playing at Gatecrasher?
You describe it perfectly, because as you say, every time was some other DJ coming with me, and I always tried to choose the DJ that was like creating the journey to bring me in a different area of the world, even if we were in Birmingham or in Sheffield at the time. I was thinking Ghost Kitchen there. And you need to be a journey. Yeah. And that's why Farpa was doing a job that I knew already from other experience in Italy. And I know in England they didn't heard him. And if they trust me, was like a way to showing respect. And the crowd is what they gave me. And that's when they see a crowd give you that, you want always to give something new, something special, something different. That's why for me was like really important always to try to don't be obvious, first of all. That's why, as you say, to put the track at the right time, that completely change the atmosphere, completely take advantage of the situation. Because for me, it was like taking advantage, because obviously when I make collapse in the club after 6 hours of music and a journey, at some moment even all the drugs going down, boom, everybody was flashing by a wave of water.
Emotion, yeah.
Yeah, of emotion. I remember in Brazil, people finished the set crying, but not because the set was finished. For a moment that was happening like that, crying, really like crying, and then you're rebuilding up, and there is when it was the explosion of the clubs. Is what I was saying. In Italy, this was the respect was shown by the crowd going down by themselves, without the DJ telling when to go. They go when the music made them feeling that's the moment to explode,
Yeah.
Doesn't happen anymore. Or if it's happened, it's fake, because there's people telling what to do, or this DJ keeps saying, go down, go down. How many times I see that, even in my last 3-4 years around the world, see the DJ with the hand, Drew, go down. Why I should go down? There's no any feeling to go down in that moment. They just because they need to take a picture or make the video for YouTube. That's why the magic is gone. Yeah. It's coming back. Don't get me wrong, because I can see, I speaking with even Farp, I see some interview. They are a resident again not now because it's club actor, but they start again the mentality to make residency in clubs, because stop this idea of the DJ come play 2 hours, get the money and go away. Again, give the trust to some DJ to building a new level of clubbing. That is the best experience for who wants to leave the club. Then obviously, starting not from zero, but maybe from two, because we start from zero. Now it's a bit more easy, but it's not simple, because as we know, clubbers or young kids are not great educated, maybe because they just want the brand or what look cool. They're hearing, I don't know, Pinco Pallone DJ is cool. They never heard him, but because they heard from people say, or because he has 1 million followers, he's a great DJ. There's many DJs, millions of followers, and they are crap still now.
Yeah. It's like a DJ. It's an art. Like there's not many DJs who can really DJ. Like there's a difference between a DJ who makes music rather than a producer who goes and DJs at an event or a festival or something. It's a completely different skill. So that was the thing that inspired me about you, was you were always yourself. And
I start DJ, then I become producer, then I turn back again DJ, then producing the same. And then, as I say, it's something that the right cocktail together make a beautiful drink. The problem these days that this is a bit not the political of the dancing. The political of the dancing, as Paul Van Dyke, remember, were making
politics of dancing. Yeah,
politics of that was already at the time like that. It was so much political, and the political is like promoter that become manager that become DJ, journalists that are DJ as well. website and now deciding who are big DJ, who are not, but they actually themselves, they never done more traveling than 1,000 kilometers from their laptop, you know, and people trust them because obviously they have like it's a bit like when we were talking about the label, you know, in Beatport, you know, you pay in the promotion, you are top 100 guarantee because they buy the track and you are your name on the top 10, you're going to have gigs. Thanks God the DJ that grow up in the clubbing scene don't need that. Still now. It's the new coming that they found that's the right way to do. But it's the right way. But if you don't have it, you won't stay for long. We call it's just going to be a meteor. You know, like some DJ has been big for 1, 2, 3 years, then they disappear. Thanks God, me, I never been huge, as I say before in the football. But I always been in the top in the world for creating a journey that the people want to hear and come and listen. Otherwise, they don't need to come, you know, that's the point. But there's something that if after 35 years I still DJ now, maybe something good I've done it, that's it. But as I say, it's not easy for the new generation if they want to be successful without working before.
Yeah, so as you're talking about that, your sound was evolving, and the set that really stands out for me with regards to Gatecrasher was when you played at the NEC, the big festival you did. But I listened to that. I've been
so criticized on that festival.
Mauro, that set changed my life. That was I can understand why, because you laid the cards down and you said, "This is where I'm going."
Yeah, but I know because exactly at the time on ESC, I remember after the set that, you know, at the time with the trend was the beginning of the internet, was the forum.
Yeah.
Forum of the top. There's been so many topics was about Gatecrasher forum was saying that I should have go and play bull, no DJ, that my music was just a loop with nonsense. And they put me so much shit on top of me. And obviously, the manager of the promoter of trance, they was like, whoa, what happened with Mauro? Why you don't do what you was doing 6 months ago? And I was like, no, because that was my time. Now I'm going here. But as I say, the time gives you the right. And this was my goal. I always say, let the people speak. I'm trying to make something. You know, people spend word. Me, I'm making talk the music or my DJ set. I can't do different. You know, I'm not a good manager. I'm not a good business manager. I'm just a DJ. Yeah. And as a DJ, I love to making music, to create atmosphere, to make you feel emotional, to make you feel good, to make you just dance and have a good time. That's my job. All the rest, I'm not good enough to become manager. Even when if you're thinking my party in Ibiza, how many times the people say, but you introduce so many top DJ in the world with your party in Ibiza. Imagine the first gig of Sex Rockstar was in the Coco Loco of Mega Night. Wasn't at Circo Loco. Wasn't at Street Festival. I remember because we always looking for new coming. Maetric, Maceo Plex. He was playing for us the first gig in Ibiza. Yeah, imagine how many times I go. Joseph Capriati. The first gig in Ibiza was at Mega Night.
Yeah.
You know, I have so many DJ like that. But as many say, why you never create something as they have done other party, like if you're thinking Marco Carola has done with Music On, or many other. Because I'm not good to do that. I'm just a DJ. I don't want exclusive from DJ. I don't give a damn of the DJ what they do. Also because, for example, Marco for me was amazing during that years. A bit less after, because for me it was nothing. There's not been an evolution. It was more about the brand, more than the quality of the sound.
Yeah.
Even if he's still an amazing DJ, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad, but doesn't surprise me anymore.
Yeah.
Surprise me, you need to change. You need to do something. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? And then I try to understand you because I'm sure you're going to offer me something new. But when I hear you in 2005, and I hear you in 2010, 2015, you still the same loopy stuff, and even worse maybe, because they like now they try to put some commercial stuff in the middle of playing Frankie Goes to Hollywood or In Excess during the set, or stuff like that. To give an example, you say I'm commercial, and what you are if you're doing that, you're even worse.
Yeah.
For me, there's no evolution. Evolution is when you do something that surprises me, like Laurent Garnier still does, Sven still does, and even not producing music. Even if I know now he's in the studio with Gregor Thresher, and I'm very curious to know what will come out.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he will never go for something that is just for the cell. He will do something for his club, for his world. I like his mentality.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're speaking about the evolution, and obviously this is around 2002, and this, as you said, this was the time when you left BXR. You made a statement with your track "New Time, New Place." So was that your indication to sort of you wanted to move on? Yeah.
Yeah, because new time, because a new place, he has to change. Then actually, the change was being like even bigger than myself, because as I say, I never been a great manager of myself. But if you're thinking, was the era of the technology was evolving so quickly, internet was growing so quickly, Beatport was starting to sell the first MP3, and I remember because at the time we have my label, and I gave it to Prime Distribution in London.
Yeah. Primate.
Well, the first was on Primate.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gave it them in license. I remember because we sold over 9,000 vinyl, double, because it was a double vinyl.
Yeah.
18,000 track on vinyl. And then Prime went in bankrupt. Like all the money lost, like really unlucky, but wasn't unlucky. It was the time, because the music was already start to collapsing. Record company bankrupt so easily, because obviously there was no money anymore. And then people was start to playing with CD, MP3, easy to download Napster, it's download for free. I realized music is gonna be only for passion. Yeah. There's no business anymore.
Yeah.
Or there is again now, because there's a bit of regulation, but only for big number. Because these days, when you're doing 2-3 million play on Spotify, it's normal. It's you doing nothing. Wow, it's good. It's normal. When you do 100,000, it's just for fun. There's no. You have to do 100 million, then all right, you good guy. Yeah. Otherwise, you're not. You're just nobody. That's it. It's still about, as I was saying, evolution. For me, New Time, New Place was the first step out of the comfortable zone. But from the comfortable zone I went in a better comfortable zone, because I start DJ for myself, for the crowd that I want to play. And I have to be honest with you, my best goal was to leave the record company, Media Records. That is when I explode. I become Mauro Picotto, and I enjoy my life, and I become so successful. I imagine if I was still there, I would be nobody. Yeah. I will end up I would be a miserable guy, because I was always thinking why I didn't try. Why, the same as the footballer, that maybe they gave the possibility to sign, but you need to leave your house, your country to go and play in Germany.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do it, and then you will regret it. That's why, for me, is what I teach in my children. I have 4 children, and all of them I say, you have to do what you like with the passion. And I will support you everything I can, obviously, because I can't do what they want to do. But I will tell you the direction to take for what you want to do, because if you're doing what you really love, you will never feel to work. Because if you're going from the 8 o'clock to midnight, you will never feel I work 16 hours. You will just have a great time for 16 hours, and that's what I teaching them, and that's I grew up. And I've been lucky because I've done what I want. But even when I wrote a book, because I also wrote a book, I remember I love that. And my wife said, "Why you don't do it?" I said, "Okay, I do it. I work and I write and I send it." The first company took it and I released it. And it has been an amazing experience. If I had never done it, I will always regret. And now there's so many DJs doing book because there's no gigs. But for me, I always try to find my own way without copy too much, or take inspiration, because taking inspiration from people or from idea is what is good. It's copy that is bad. To make a copy is bad, but to take inspiration from other is just good. For me, I take inspiration a million times, even when I go outside and I listen to something that I like. Yesterday, a friend sent me a butterfly photo from the garden, and I was looking at this butterfly, and I was like, how the nature make the combination of the color so perfect, the harmony of the color. That's what explains the art. When you're seeing a picture that give you something. The guy that did it, he had obviously been inspired from something when he was younger. And me, when I see this butterfly yesterday, I was like, sometimes you see t-shirt from football, they look awful.
Yeah.
Why they don't take idea from nature would be great.
Yeah.
Sometimes just the combination of the color together from the butterfly, just 2 or 3 different color, that 3 color together and make a t-shirt. No, they make, I see yesterday the Inter AC Milan, the new t-shirt.
Yeah.
They make a mix of blue, yellow with pat everywhere. Like sometimes like they are drunk when they making t-shirt, or they just want to people talk. If they want people talk, that's the goal.
Yeah.
But then if you look at the t-shirt, I'm not going to wear it. You look like the little shoes, like very successful for a few months, but then they disappear again.
Yeah, it comes back to like you're talking about the football kits, and I think the best football kits of all time were probably the ones during the 80s when they were just simple and beautiful, and it's the same with the music. It's the simple music that are the ones that are the most beautiful.
But it's me, my son that he want to play football, but I told him, you choose the worst area again, like your dad when you hear music. But he said, but I love it. Can you help me to play football? And he was 7 years old. I told him, I cannot help you because I can only put you in like clubs where you go and play. And if you have to train, you have to find your dimension. You have to find your skill, your talent. That's what I done to him. But I support him. And he went from the little club where I remember he was playing. And I was like, he's so uncoordinated. Like, obviously at 7 years old, never played football, want to play football. I was feeling so ashamed. It's wrong to say, but I was like, my goodness, so bad. And then he was working in the garden, on the wall, in the house, over with the ball. And I let him do it. Then he started to say, there's I remember he went to Ajax for a camp. The camp. He went to Rangers. He was going to every camp in the summer, Juventus, and he was there involved in learning and kicking the ball. And he ended up now that 2 years ago, when he was 12, Southampton and Fulham asked him to go and do a trial.
Really, that's amazing.
Yeah, then we realized that if you are more than 1 hour from where you live, you cannot go in any club. It is a Premier League rules.
Yeah.
You need to be 14. And he couldn't move, but he still have done like, how you say, he went to do the experience the weekend, no? And they'll say, if you just, when you are 14, if you stay like that, there's a chance he can be signed. And now he's with Fulham.
Amazing.
He's in the academy of Fulham.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've done nothing. I just support him in a way that give the opportunity to want to go and play football. You bring him there and you take him to football. Don't say, you're not going to be good. I didn't know. Maybe he will never make it because he just opened a door. And as I always say to him, it's going to be, now you open the door, but there's a bigger stairs going up and it's very, very high. and you can fall down easy.
Yeah.
But he knows. Now, the point in, I'm super proud because he reached something that many will dream at his age. But at the same time, he has done nothing. And that's the point that he need to know. That's why it's first school, then football.
Yeah.
Because you never know, you can hurt yourself, because you need also some luck in life,
Yeah,
as I have.
definitely.
No, but my daughter, she want to be a dancer, and she was a gymnast. She even won the English, whatever it's called. My wife was following her because she's more into the gymnastic stuff. And I let her do it. And she reached really high level of gymnastic. Now she want to go and do like a girl at 12 years old. She want to sing. I made some track with her using her voice. She's a great dancer. And she's been admitted in the Sylvia Young Theatre School in London. That is a very talented school where it's been like, you're thinking like Dua Lipa, all Amy Whitehouse, the girl died, but
Yeah.
all they come out from this school. She's not going to be a singer because she has a normal voice, but she has an amazing dance and a good acting. She done few stuff for movie already. And she does what she loves. She go to school. She is 6 o'clock in the morning. She's wake up herself because she want to go. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Outside football, I don't need to tell, prepare your bag, or is, at 5 o'clock tonight, he has to be a
Has
full.
it in here. He wants
At
to do it.
4:30 is already shower, ready to go.
Yeah.
The same me, a DJ, when I had to go DJ, the night before I was already records prepared, everything was ready. It's not the same when I have to do something I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to be late. That's what I'm saying. The passion drives your dream. And don't let the other push down that. Because even with my DJ world, I remember in Italy, that was Gigi. They was saying, we are Italian, nobody give a shit to us. That's what he told me. I remember say, yeah, but if we don't try, you don't know. That's what I would say to my son. You have to try. You need to be selfish and go. Take opportunity, but try. Because the biggest fail is don't try. You will regret it. Because if you fail, at least you say, I tried.
Yeah.
I wasn't good enough. You do it in 2 months, they're going to say you're not good enough for a Premier League. You can still play in the Champions maybe, but at least you try. Or you don't let them push you down. You can still working out, but don't let the others saying that is not enough, not good for you, because you have to live your dreams and you have to do the maximum you can. Then if you cannot reach it, at some point in life, your body, your intelligence, your anything will make you realize, yeah, I tried, didn't work, but I'm good of that, I will follow that. It will come natural. You don't need to force it. That's what I'm always feeling. Like now, I'm making again commercial because I'm actually don't want to go and DJ 6 times a week as I was doing in my big time. Yeah, I made 224 was my record in 1 year gigs. 224 gigs in 1 year. I was doing 5 gigs in 1 week sometimes, 3 on a Friday, 2 on a Saturday, then flying private to go and do more gigs. It was crazy, but thanks to that, I can have a comfortable days now, you have to follow your dreams and don't let the other push you down. And then more than all, working hard, because if you fail because you didn't try, you will regret it. But if you fail, but you try, you will not regret it.
Yeah. And coming back to the Gatecrasher, when you were getting that criticism for doing what you wanted to do, did it affect you mentally, and did it make you feel fearful about moving forward?
No, I felt bad because some people attacked me really heavily, because I remember even send me no email, but posting on the forum, I wish you dying, because like heavy stuff, touching even the family. At the time, I was a kid. Yeah. I was 35, but you still emotional because I just coming to play music. Why you have to attack me so heavily like that? Heavy, really. And affect me because it was like, even, in the techno scene, they don't accept the trance. In the trance, they realize that they don't accept the techno. and they create this atmosphere of hate. But music is love, it's not hating. That's why I hate both sides when are extreme like that. I call them purists. The purists are the worst because they just limited their brain to that. They only see that. It's wrong. If you don't like it, I accept your taste. Finish there. Why you have to create this idea of hating the people because they love trance music or because they love techno? This is bad people for the clubbing. These people that shouldn't be in the club, shouldn't be. It's the same as, that's why political of dancing. That's political even in that. They try to convert the people because even the festival, if you go into the festival, techno is cool now. It's not cool if you go at the other one because it's cheesy. What is that? If you don't want to go, don't go. End of story. Shouldn't be that feeling is bad or is good. It's bad when you go and you don't enjoy yourself. Even if he's got there. And if I go and I don't enjoy myself, that is bad. No, it's bad just because someone make a festival, techno, trance, or Goa, whatever. It shouldn't be judgment. That's why even the genre is wrong. When they divided the music, exactly the word, dividing the people. They divide the people, they divide the music with genre. Trance, techno, minimal, bullshit. His journey is a journey. You go and listen, top DJ, they even play, Laurent Garnier sometimes play breakbeat in the middle of the set. Everybody shut up. If you don't like it, you stay home. It's the same like vinyl, MP3, or final scratch at the time. For me, play with what you want. It's important that you play good music because, there's some DJ that I remember at my time, playing with turntable because they have to play with turntable. That's fine. But when you're drunk and you cannot put two tracks together, I would rather you go play with CD. At least you play sync and don't make a mess,
Yeah.
I was in amnesia sometime, listen some South American DJ that I was like, after 1 hour, I said, that's enough. People whistling, you can see the crowd, even if they follow you, they saying, you're doing something wrong, guy. And you are keep going all fucked up and mixing for you, who knows. That's what in my idea of the dividing is wrong. That's why Gay Crasher was the first one when I see the people saying like I should die because I play techno in the temple of trance. Why I should? I will die anyway.
Yeah.
There's no need to wish me that. But that made me thinking there was people that try to already dividing the atmosphere in the club from what is good for you or what should be good for the other. Don't you judge for me. Let myself experience the clubbing. If I like it, I will come back. If I don't like it, I don't come back. You don't need to make such a fuss around. That's the marketing these days at the end of the day.
Yeah, and when you moved from playing, say, the trancier shows to the more techno shows, did you feel accepted into the scene?
Well, again, there was the same the transition. Obviously, at the beginning was all the techno DJ that obviously they thinking they was God already. It was like, what you doing? Why, Mauro? Because you trance, you cheesy, you commercial. Say, yeah, you want to play in Ibiza on my party or you stay home?
Yeah.
It's simple, no? But people like that, I never call them. They still home now because are people that they maybe was good for 1-2 years. I call them meteor. They disappear. But the top one, they still top now. And the young top that I called, that they was not top at the time, they still big now. Look the example I say before, like Marco, Joseph, Chris Levy, they become so much bigger than anyone else now. No, they still also very young. Young. They're all over 40 as well now. But me, I'm 50, over 50. But, it's different. Like, it's always been this climate of competition in the world of the DJ that they thinking you can take something away from one or the other. Something that I never felt. Thanks God, thanks to me. I'm always trying to stay with positive people. If someone was criticizing or talking of other the way I didn't like, I would never call them. Because I'm saying if he does for that, he will does for other. It's not what I want. Me, as they say, I have my taste. I like you. I like you for 2 years. 1 year you start to play different. I don't like you anymore. Why is me? I can tell to you, or I can make a comment. Because like I was saying, some DJ I love it 10 years ago. These days, they don't surprise me anymore, because for me, in my head, they were so big at the time when I discovered that new sound that they didn't evolve that, because they felt that's where I make the money. Now I stay. I lose the credibility in your creativity, but not in your person, on your creativity. Other DJ, like I mentioned 3 times now as well, even after 35 years now, is the one that surprised me. You can have an eye that, because don't get me wrong, I also listen some set that I'm like, it was just normal, nothing. But then you maybe go at the after party and he surprised you again, and you're like, he still got
the spark,
the mood catcher, the sparkling kind. Because as I say, you can't judge the book by a cover, and sometimes that's what's happened. You need to listen to a DJ or a couple of times, because when you're hearing just the first time, it could be a great set, and then maybe it was a lucky not one, It's a bit again like footballer, because I see with my son, when they follow the children, you're thinking they're choosing the best one. But it's not that. They're looking for the one that feeling more box, because with the time what they want to see is a footballer when he's already 18. Doesn't matter you scoring 20 goals now that you are 10 or 12. Maybe you're not. They know that in 5 years you will disappear, because there's some box that you're not feeling, or your character, and the same is in the music. The story will speak for yourself. If after 30 years you will have Bryan call me to do an interview because you have something to say, it means that you have left some good memory. If after 30 years, no, or better, if after 10 years nobody called you, you have to thinking I was just a meteor. That's a bit of our word of the DJ, because even the top one like Tiesto or Armin, they could be criticized a billion times, but they left a mark, and even strong mark.
Yeah.
How can the people criticize, especially in the techno scene? They see them as like a cheesy brand, and you're a cheesy brand for techno, because when you are big in techno, there's something wrong.
It's not
there's something wrong.
Yeah.
No, even now there's this also great coming back with what is like the woman that is not coming back. Very cool. And I appreciate, because it's right that there's woman, the better looking the man, first of all, when they DJ, and they have like this sweet taste, especially in techno, that is sometimes just amazing, But then also in that world, there are fake, and you can see it. You can feel it. They just pretty, but they have like there's no
substance.
There's like there's a few of that me, I like it when I discover it. And now when I listen, and even when you go in the past, or I see on YouTube, some friends say, oh, look what she's playing. Well, you sing, they dancing really nicely. I'm like, you don't need to play the bonsai track to surprise me. Yeah? You need to surprise me with the music.
Yeah.
You don't need to name the DJ that do that. They are the obvious one.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up like that.
No. But like that's the interesting the way you're speaking about the current techno scene and the DJs that you mentioned. It's very, very trancey. What techno has become at the moment. They call it melodic techno. Yeah, but it's trance. Because they are ashamed of the name trance.
Yeah. But they play in trance. There's no story. Yeah. Like me, when I heard, I remember a few years ago in Ibiza at what was the party of Richie Hawtin.
Minus.
Dot, Enter, sorry.
Enter, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Dot. I was thinking because I remember it was Tale of Art. There are two Italian producers, and they made amazing melody music. and they taking idea from soundtrack or whatever they want, but you can feel it. That's the progressive of 20 years ago with the sound of today.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But don't call that techno, please, because that's not techno. Techno is all about technology, and that's fine. But calling techno something that is trance, because when there's a melody that make you feel good, the word trance is because bring you in a different level in your brain. Trance music was the people playing Ibiza during the sunset. You know, that melody when was a nice, I forgot even the name at the moment. You know, that track that still now you see in the compilation you were mentioned, Café del Mar, that they still make you feel good after many years. That was the trance music. Then trance has been destroyed maybe by EDM style because they exaggerate what they've done. But it's not been exaggerated. There's just been an evolution for a few years of a different era. There's nothing wrong. But that was, for me, wrong. Like, keep changing the name of something that just because it looks cool, but that is trance music and the story. It was play a enter party for me. Then for others, it's techno. Well done to you. What can I say? If you for that, for me, techno was looks techno now. If we planetary sound system set, that's pure techno. There's no melody. The melodies is in your brain when you listen to the track. You can hear in what's going on. That's the real techno. Because when you hear someone playing, start to call that techno because that's music. Techno is a noise that become a music that you cannot sing. Or better, you can making the noise. Everybody can make the sound. You know, when you have the DJ say, "Can you play the track that I want to do?" What was that? No, everybody has their own interpretation of techno. But when you have the melody that you can reproduce with your voice clearly, that's not techno. That's a melody track. Then melody techno, melodic trance, whatever you want to call it. But it's dance music and the story. But for me, techno still like trance. Trance is what you bring me emotionally in a new place. And techno is when you make me dance with a groove and with sound that is not reproducible by playing. That's for me is techno. Then everybody make a big soup and turning and stirring, and sometimes it's warm up, sometimes it's cold, but everybody do what they want, you know.
Yeah, I remember your Metamorphosis compilation from around 2001. That was an amazing compilation, but that was a full on techno choice of techno tracks, and I remember around that time.
You see the name
Metamorphosis, yeah.
It's already explaining where I was going, because people, I try to not say educate because it would be like who are you for educate the other? No, I was trying to make understand my taste where was going to the people who was following the double album before. They even was for me a great album, but they need to understand where I was going, you know. Then obviously, when I start to DJ a lot, I lost a bit. Not the ability is the wrong, but the feeling to stay longer in the studio, because when I was doing that music, I was working from Monday to Friday in the studio. Even if it was when I was at the record company, when I was by myself, I was in Italy, in my house with Ricky, and every day we was in the studio. Because as I say, for me, it was not working.
Yeah.
For me, that was fun. And to do something that is fun, you don't feel work in your life. And then I was DJing, then we party 3 days and then come back. We would need 3 days to recuperate where we were. And then you have to leave again. You know, it's been like an amazing life. Like, you know, I've been lucky because, you know, at the time I was not married anymore, better to say that. And I was free. Because also DJ, when you get married, you struggle to give 100% to your job. Because you have responsibility, you have a different life. And me at that moment of that 6, 7 years of freedom that I really gave, and I'm pleased because even now I see the people, like even with this interview, you proving yourself, Jay, I left something. And that for me is what at the time I was trying to explain, but the people didn't understand me. And I was doing with music. I'll give you another idea. I remember Gatwick in the 2002 was the president of a big company in UK from records. They came and speak with me and say they would like to take me to a next level.
Okay.
As they done with other top still now. And I remember I was like, first I didn't speak well English. I didn't understand maybe what they was offering me, or better, I was not interested because I was happy in my work. But I also declined offer to have the opportunity to put my face next to a pop star to go to the next level.
Yeah.
You have agency in America. If I was going to that agency, they offer you to play in every festival in America just to be in that agency. And I was like, no, I'm with my manager from when I started. I stayed with him. So all the stuff they never accepted because it was political. And if some of them maybe felt like maybe I should have tried, but then even if I didn't, I don't regret it because I still have done what I want. It's different if I put again the example with the football. You know, you have to sign with Juventus or Real Madrid or Manchester. Still fantastic. Different if you're playing for Sheffield and Real Madrid comes and you're not going because you're crazy or because, you know, you need to try the experience. Otherwise, you will regret it. That's what it didn't happen to me. Even if it's in reality, it is happened. Because I refused to go pop as a superstar. Because they will take you there. Because I remember the not the bullshit, but the story they were saying, imagine the stage, you enter like thinking Star Wars, and all the girls like a church, because you are a god, you need to enter like a church with all the people behind you like that, then you go on the stage. And that's what they offer me at the time, is what I see to other DJ 2 years later.
Yeah.
And I know it's not their idea. Are the big company, they're going to bring a superstar DJ, because before the band there was like maybe 10 people, create a concert, then become a concert with one person. They don't need to do nothing. Just playing the track ready. You don't need to bring the guitar. You know, they invested on top DJ because it was easy and was a lot of money. I didn't see that picture at the time, but I don't regret it because thanks God I started when nobody was caring about the DJ. And we have done an amazing time and life and moment. Unfortunately, now it's not the same for everyone because with this pandemic, even the new coming are suffering a lot. But I'm sure from the summer we will get on the mood again.
I hope so. But has there ever been any period in your career where you felt like you didn't want to DJ anymore?
No, because, you know, it's never happened something like that. I have to be honest, it's happened this pandemic in the moment that for example, last year in January, I always take January in the last 2 years off, all January, because January for me, I go on holiday with my family or go skiing in Italy. And I remember I take January off, I ride this virus. In February, I was going to Dubai on holiday, come back from Dubai, lockdown, March. I say, okay, gig cancel or postpone. Remember, was postponed the gig.
Yeah.
And then it got worse and worse and worse. And it's like, well, whatever. If I have to stop now, I will start producing music. I start to do other stuff. I didn't feel bad. To be honest, for me, 2020 wasn't so bad because I still in the summer, I say I play in Italy. I went to Ibiza in the summer. Then I come back to England. And then my son was at Fulham, my daughter in the school. And I was visiting them sometime in London. And they was playing because London went in lockdown on the 3rd of January. Until that time, nothing really changed apart me stay home. I don't. I didn't feel I need to go and play because I did for 30 years. To have 1 year break, I accepted. But then, in January, we had lockdown in England, 2 months lockdown. They found the vaccine. England moved so quickly. I think they done an amazing job. I never see such a lockdown easy as they have done here because there's a respect, the social distance, people go vaccinated. Italy is not like that. Italy is still in trouble now because they are thinking tomorrow, or our government is so corrupt that they still have to understand that here they vaccinate even in a pharmacy. In Italy, they're wasting time and money, I don't know in what.
It's the same here, Mauro, same in Ireland, yeah.
They waste, I don't know. Anyway, London looks fine. Yesterday's been no death. Finger crossed is doing well. But if I have to say, 2020 for me has been not too bad. Apart the job, the rest has been good because I have a good summer. I went to Dubai, to Ibiza, to Italy. Can't complain too much. This year I start bad because January, when everybody always finished 2020, 2021 didn't start well for me because I've been in lockdown from January till now.
Yeah.
But now they're already showing there's a light at the end of the tunnel here in England. In London or in Jersey, there's been no case at all. Cioè, it looks the vaccine is the solution. If it's the solution, we can start not to plan long terms, but we can start to thinking again to back at the kind of a normality. And that made me say positive in a good moment, not in the positive way.
Yeah.
And it's something that is exciting. It's a new beginning. Maybe it's never going to be the same. But as I say, I live in the life every day as is the right day. Just enjoy yourself and see what's going on. And as I say, I dedicate so much time now in music. So I have 4 new tracks, all pop music, but all ready for clubs as well. I'm looking forward to go and play Cream. I have Creamfield Cream, all the party in Cornwall as well. And I'm all set. Obviously, we're still waiting the go on the 21st of June from Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
But if everything is working, I'm looking forward to play this amazing track. And I'm not saying amazing because I'm thinking, because I know I are, because they really fill in the box of the same as 2000 here when I create Komodo or Iguana, because they was clubbing, but they also will be appreciated because also the music taste of the people is changed. Because staying home without going dancing, they want to hear music, they will appreciate it straight away.
Yeah.
Because it's not like before that they just need a loop and pills, or even worse, or ketamine or whatever. Now they are all very well detoxified from everything, even from that music, because I don't see people listening amnesia music in the house every day. They listen to radio or some podcast or Spotify. And if you're looking by the play, the majority of the population doesn't listen music. And will take time again to found the roots to bringing to the real clubbing music. But I believe there is. And it's even quality now because I heard some set in from Circle, Circle TV.
Yeah.
And some DJ with the environment they have around create good journey, like good set to listen and even to watch. But I don't know how much are effective for a club because they are quite very mentally. As there are more 20 years ago at Café del Mar when everybody is lying down the sunset. We need to see when we're back in the club if they want a hardcore or if they want a 90 or you don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting, I think. And I prepare some food for my restaurant that should be well appreciated by the crowd. I'm quite sure. I'm confident.
Excellent. So, yeah, obviously we're moving into the summer, and the summer usually means Ibiza. And I was thinking back to some memories of the times that I've seen you in Ibiza. I remembered in, I think it was August 2003, you were playing for Cream at Amnesia. And while you were playing your set, I think they were filming scenes from the movie It's All Gone Pete Tong. Do you remember this by any chance? No.
Be honest, no. I remember Cream, I had amnesia, but I don't remember that.
But yeah, you were playing your set, and to the left hand side there was a film crew, and it turned out to be the lead character from the film. I think his name was Frankie Wilde. But they were
Oh,
filming,
yeah.
yeah, they were filming all
Because they're using Lizard.
yeah, they were using
Lizard.
amnesia as the place. So we were in the crowd looking at you. You sort of didn't really know what was happening, and then they were filming all these scenes. And then I remember as they were walking off, you sort of just gave them a little wave because they were invading your space. Really, you were trying to do your job at the best club basically in the world. So, that was one of the memories. But obviously, my main memories from Ibiza were for Mega Night at Privilege, and it was the first time there was sort of that kind of sound had come to Ibiza, and you booked people like Ben Sims, Chris Lieben, Adam Bayer, Mistress Barbara and stuff. So have you any really special memories from that time?
Yeah, the memory of that time was, I remember when they offered me to have my own night at the club, the owner of Privilege invite me to Ibiza and asked me if I can take the Thursday night that they was doing house music or whatever, and to do a party for them. And when I see the club, I remember I was like, wow, that's it's so enormous, to make techno here is impossible. I say, we can try, I need to think in an idea. But then I asked, why you want the Thursday? And he said, because the Thursday we have a night that's not working really well. Say, but what you doing on the Wednesday? Because my idea was like Monday was Cocoon. Actually was Circolo, DC10 in the afternoon.
Carl
was
Cox
Cocoon
Tuesday.
in the night. Tuesday was Carl Cox.
Yeah.
Say, Wednesday is perfect because the people, if he party for 3 days, he was keep going for 2 times, no? And because the Thursday was too far away, and then the people get ready for the Friday, for the weekend, they keep safe the Thursday. Was a night a bit like, and he said, but the Wednesday, the club is closed. I say, yeah, that's great. We open, close the Thursday, no? And they say we was crazy, but I was right again, because the night has been successful. The club from being open Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then was open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then they open all week. Then obviously the too much may collapse also the island, because then you see some club didn't work, but the idea was working. We shut the club out with a big curtain.
Yeah.
And then after 2 years, we managed to open all club when it was successful. And to have all open club, you need to have at least 5,000 people. And making 5,000 people coming for Mega Night, for us was an amazing goal, because it's easy to feel in club like Amnesia. Because people go because the brand is so strong.
Name, yeah.
Privilege doesn't have that feeling. If you don't do something special, people don't go to Privilege. It's different. They was going to Manumission, they was going to La Troya, they went to Supermarché, because the brand was what bring the people. And Mega Night was the same. We gave something that in the island nobody was giving, or they was giving in a different way. Let's say one was giving food in I don't know, Mediterranean food, and other was giving German taste and other English taste. But the kitchen was similar. That's what we created, Like even Enter was a bit Japanese, but still techno was,
Yeah.
Rich yacht inside at least. That was the idea. Even Marco Carola, Musicon, create this Napolitan calling sound that he created in the past. But then obviously also Imi started calling DJ, because you need to evolve that, because otherwise it's always the same soup, even for me, that's why I was inviting new DJ every year, because you can't do always the same, People after learn quickly. And when they learn quickly, you need to change quicker. And the taste change quickly as well, that's why everything went too fast. And this pandemic has slowed down again. I believe make again the people appreciate more the music and not just the look and that could be a new era again for the music as well.
Is there any particular moment that sticks out in your career more than anything else?
Mm, to be honest, no. It's been like a stalk, goes up and down, but always in the up direction. Because saying it was everything perfect, no, because it's been up and down in my life too. But I would say I wouldn't change anything I have done. No, nothing. Even when I was saying, when they offer you to have something more, when the people say, "Oh, why you not become like?" Even my daughter say, "But why you never thought to do something like Tiesto have done it?" Because I'm not Tiesto. That's simple. I don't have that mentality. I'm not a good business manager for myself. I'm more a passionate for, because I'm sure he's passionate too, but I'm sure he's a better person for business maybe. Like Armin or even Sven, look Cocoon. He created a company that is cool and he does what he wants.
Yeah.
Ma, take Sven away from Cocoon.
It's like
everything will collapse.
Yeah.
He will collapse because Cocoon is Sven. There's no anyone else. Even if he has amazing guy around him playing for him, is not the same. These people, when go out of his agency, they disappear. And there's so many. Adam creates drum code, but the difference is like, for example, for my opinion, this is again, it's my just personal opinion. Drum code is not what is Adam Beyer. Is the toy of Adam Beyer. It's different. I don't feel that is really, because I remember Adam drum code wasn't like that.
No, it was tribally 138.
Was a real drum code.
Yeah.
Then obviously his manager Jeremy turned it into a successful record company. That's well done to Jeremy and Adam, but it's not Adam, because Adam is a pure DJ. I'm sure he play what he released as well, but most of that is just business. He does because it has to be done because there's people. But his heart as a DJ is more pure than that. What I see with that label.
Yeah. Are you hopeful for the future of dance music?
Sorry?
Are you hopeful for the music, are you hopeful for the future of dance music?
Yeah, but because like I see, as I say, that it's gonna be new challenge coming, and the new technology and the new way to communicate and selling music will bring big business again. Because I was reading a few months ago, was again Richie Otting saying that this pandemic make you realize that the artists without gigs, they don't make money anymore.
No.
Zero money. Then maybe they should find a way now that the artist has to pay a part of their fee to contribute the music. Otherwise, the music will disappear. Or you will only play what you can produce because nobody wants to produce music anymore because there's no business. And make you thinking, because before, when was the vinyl, printing the vinyl, was a lot of people making a little bit, but was people working around. Now it's just a studio cost. After that, and of course there's a promotion, but after that there's only distribution of the track. And if they found a way to distribute and control well the selling, there's again an income. But until you can find the music free, like everybody has, it's hard to make money from the music, because it's even the principle that's like, I don't buy music because I don't need to buy it, because if I hear something that they send me, or we receive thousands of promo, or if I need one, I go and buy. But I remember to spending millions of lira. It was like maybe 2,000 euro a month, 3,000 euro on records a month. I don't know. The last time I spent $10 was maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah,
on
I
music.
get you. Yeah.
There's no business, there's no future. But there's a future with, as I say, streaming music, if they making more correct and less free. I understand that people say, I want to play my music home and live on Facebook. Now I can't. They stop my music. Now it's because they try to find a regulation. Because exactly you don't go and buy in the shop the track. If you buy the vinyl, I will let you play because you already spend. But when you play with the CD or with the laptop, how I know if it's being buy the music or like me is free? You need to reproduce. You're reproducing the music. You need to give something to these people. And if I have to pay with my fee, I'm happy to do it. We just need to make a lie for everyone that 10% of the booking, or like the same as an agency, 10% of the DJ fee go to the music artist or, PRS or I don't know. It's difficult, but that could be a future, I don't know when.
Idea, yeah.
Maybe it's already like that because they say Spotify start to pay and live stream start to, YouTube start to pay, but it's not going in the pocket of the people producing music. It's going to the pocket that still does the live. No, doesn't go in or the guy that put it on the YouTube. I want the money of the music going in the pocket of the people playing. That should be more correct.
Yeah, really good. Some good advice there, Mauro. Yeah. So
advice, but I'm sure that it won't happen until it would take still many years to find a solution.
Yeah.
Look also how much they abandon the music artists during this pandemic. Same as the restaurant. Someone has a contribute like from the government. In Italy, all DJs, all clubs, they had zero. I know in England there's been a bit controversial because I know like some web got a lot of money and clubs got nothing. Like I was following, Dave Clark was accusing a resident advisor that they got money from the government.
Okay.
When money should be destined to clubs that are shut down, not to people on the web that are still alive. I don't know exactly the story. I can't talk about that. But if it's only 5% true, it's been the club scene as the DJ, as the artist, as the musician, as the clubs, as the festival are being left on their own. That's the problem.
Let's hope for some better days ahead, Mauro.
I'm sure will. From the summer, from after the 21st of June, we will. No, not too much. I only want to go 2-3 times a month because it's enough for me. But I'm sure it's fine. By the look, if they don't stop with another virus, the calendar looks fine and promising.
Yeah, hope so. Just before I go, Mauro, I just have one more question for you. If you had a choice between Messi or Ronaldo, who would you pick?
Messi and Ronaldo?
One player. You can only pick one player.
I hope Luca Picotto. Son. No, that's for him, poor guy. Not poor guy in the way that he's always looking for Messi or Ronaldo or Neymar or Lewandowski. But I tell you, it's impossible to choose because I love the ability of one and the hard work of the other. But exactly because one is gifted and the other is gifted but work hard, I would choose Ronaldo.
Yeah, I would too. I'm probably a little bit biased because I'm a Manchester United fan, but I think Cristiano...
It's more like I say, Cristiano work his socks off. And I'm sure also Messi. But when you see the video of Messi when he was little, and you see it now...
Genius, yeah.
He was talented already. I think the training to him just gave the strength, the resistance. He had the football already here. He had the movement already when he was little. He was real gifted. Ronaldo, you see, a bit more mechanical, but because he's someone that say, I'm going to be the one that jump higher than everyone. I'm going to be the one that run faster than everyone. Cioè, you see, he's a human robot in a way that he's made for football. He's true. He's a goal machine.
Yeah.
Then obviously he has the brain as well. He's amazing. But that's why I choose him, because he's proving that if you really motivate yourself and you are a bit lucky too, you can reach your goal. Messi is more talent, maybe yes, but he's more gifted. That's why.
Yeah.
I choose Ronaldo.
Yeah, plus Cristiano has done it in England, he's done it in Spain, and he's done it in Italy, and he's done it for Portugal as well. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Messi. I think he's incredible.
No, it's not how you can say someone that scores over 700 goals for a team, not just in Spain, because then Champions League, you also go outside of Spain. But is what you say is right. He's an amazing player. He's not for nothing 6-time Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
But I think even Ronaldo, 6 Ballon d'Or, could deserve it, because the one was at Juventus and they didn't give it to him. And they gave it to Modric, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
What is that Modric more than Ronaldo?
Nothing.
You're right, second in the World Cup, yes. But he even not done 10% of Ronaldo that year. Then I respect also Modric, because Croatian team has been fantastic and amazing. But, Ronaldo is still he's been another level.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Also because then Modric disappeared. Come on.
Yeah. He's getting a little bit old now, yeah.
Yeah, but also Ronaldo is 36 and still produced goal. Even with Portugal, the one that was a ghost goal.
Yeah, I know.
He still score,
Yeah.
I know he's not playing against Germany yet. They playing a lower team, but still score. It doesn't matter.
He loves scoring
goals. He's
goals.
so criticized as well, because obviously, when you need a goal, he's always in. They have to solve the problem, and if he doesn't, everybody's jump on him.
Yeah.
But you need to respect someone that is done a career so good like that. You can only shut your mouth and the story. That's the thing.
Yeah.
People talk because they're jealous.
That's always the way, Mauro. Mauro, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. You've made my 18-year-old self very, very happy. It's been a dream come true to speak to you about your career, and I really hope I get to see you at a club or an event sometime in the future. Just thank you very much for being a part of this podcast today.
Hopefully soon, one back-to-back in Dublin.
Yeah, hope so, man. Hope so.
We're going to do something special, a big event together. Don't worry.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you very much, Mauro.
Thanks to you, and bye to everyone. Ciao.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.